So I figure for the next 6 weeks, kind of got a bit of a different approach to it. We're going to try and keep everyone as engaged as possible. I know that, if you, we're going to try to keep people moving, try to keep people training, with the idea that something is better than nothing. And the 800 gram challenge seemed like a really good idea, just because there's a lot of flexibility built into it. It's really simple. You eat 800 grams of fruit and veggies. We go in we're going to be working off a point system, which we can talk about in a second. And we've got daily workouts that we're going to be loading up. And, just the idea that, I think one of the things that we saw in the last lockdown was that we all came back and most people ran themselves into an injury. They were doing heaps of running, they're doing the same kind of stuff over and over again, and we're eating donuts and we're eating all this stuff. So this time around, let's hold ourselves a little bit accountable to some stuff. Let's do some pretty simple workouts. Let's not overcomplicate it. Even if the workouts aren't what we're normally used to, it's better that we do it together and we have a little bit of fun doing it. And and that's kind of the plan for the next 6 weeks. It's meant to be a 4-week challenge, but we're going to make it 6 weeks. Unless you want to do the 4-week challenge and then do 2 weeks of donuts, which is better than 6 weeks of donuts. So it's all good. It's all good. Something is better than nothing. And that's how I'm going to look at this challenge. In terms of prizes, what we're going to do for prizes is we've had a lot of donations from people just kind of contributing to the challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to base the challenge. We're going to base the prizes not so much on points, but just on involvement. So if you maybe you don't get the whole 8 points every day, that's totally cool. We just want to make sure that everyone's kind of putting in their scores, putting in their putting what they did, holding each other accountable, fist bumping each other and all that kind of stuff, so that, for the next 6 weeks, while we might not be able to touch you guys in person, we can, use SugarWOD as our kind of one central point. So yeah, how does that sound for everyone?
Cool.
Yeah, we have some massive 800 gram challenge veterans on here. So here's the point of today is we're going to go into what is the challenge. Christine's going to answer some questions in terms of what you guys can eat, some tips on how you guys can do it, and just how we can all have the fun. So Christine and I are going to take this one off. Just basically, it's eat 800 grams of fruit and veggies per day. This can be fresh, cooked, dried, pickled, whatever you want it. Just make sure it's 800 grams. In terms of how the points are going to work, you get plus 4 points for eating 800 grams of veggies and fruit. That's all you have to eat to get those 4 points. And then if you want to layer on top dumplings, donuts, Korean fried chicken, delicious, you can totally do that. You get 1 point for a workout a day. You get 2 points for diversity. So if you get 6 or more different items in that 800 grams, and then you get a bonus item. So I'm just going to flick this over to Christine, and she's going to fire away on all those different things. And does anyone have any questions on that, by the way?
Cool. All right. Yeah. So like Chongi said, every day you get to score up to 8 points. And half of it is due to just getting the 800 grams, which is huge. Like even if you're not used to consuming like 500 grams a day and you manage to get 800 grams and you get 4 points a day, like that's massive. And that's sort of what the challenge is about anyway. So don't worry about trying to aim for, perfection and 8 points every single day. You can have raw, frozen, fresh, cooked, or canned foods. So things that are included are essentially things that are whole foods. So actual vegetables, so an actual potato counts, but French fries do not. Even with pickles, yep, they count. So just be mindful that if they're sort of soaked in things like sugar, then they actually don't count, because what we're trying to do is we don't want to allow things that will add to that weight, if that makes sense. So things like juices would not count because essentially there isn't any fiber in it. And there's usually extra, sugar and things like that as well. So just to run through some things that might not count, that would be dried fruit, juice, like I said, salsa, packaged soups would not count unless you made it yourself. So unless you roasted a whole bunch of veggies and then blended it up and it turned into soup, then that would count. But a lot of the time, packaged soup have things like water and cream in them, and that's why they wouldn't count towards the challenge. Nuts would not count because they're not a fruit or a vegetable. Grains like rice, quinoa, they're again not a vegetable. Let's see, smoothies. Smoothies can go towards your daily, daily intake of the 800 grams. Just be mindful of counting. Like if you add, I tend to add like flaxseed meal, like obviously that doesn't count, but at least with smoothies, if the majority of them are going to be fruit or veggie based, they can count into your 800 grams. So I would weigh them first before actually prepping whatever food it is that you're going to make. Does that make sense? Cool. Any questions so far?
What if you don't have a weighing machine because you don't want to spend the $20?
Food, or you don't
first prize, a weighing machine.
Yeah, we'll give out digital scales as a prize. So if you don't have a digital scale, don't worry. We're just gonna use our hand as an indicator of your portion size. So because we're aiming for 800 grams, that's pretty much give or take going to be 8 fist size portions. So if you've got a cup in your house, maybe go with that because that's quite similar to the size of your fist. Either or, whatever works for you, really. And the aim is to get 8 of them. So depending on how many meals you have a day, let's say if you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack, and you average 4 meals, that's essentially 2 cups per meal. So I would recommend that if you're not used to consuming a lot of vegetables during breakfast, maybe start off with that, because often what we find is that with our main meals, with lunch and dinners, we've always got some portion of vegetables, and often I find that breakfast is the one that kind of doesn't happen in the first place, or does but without a whole bunch of vegetables. So you don't want to kind of get to the end of your day feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to eat a whole bowl of vegetables and I can't stomach it in one go. Definitely try and break them up as much as possible to kind of help. Cool. Sweet.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh, is that back to me?
Does everyone get the point system?
Yeah, do we track it all on SugarWOD? How do we, so how are we all going to engage and see what we're all doing or track our points?
Great question. So yes, we are going to have essentially like a program on SugarWOD where every day you do get to submit your score in. We're not going to be checking exactly how many grams you've had a day, that kind of thing, like that's completely up to your responsibility, and you can put that in. I'll just mention though that you have to have at least 800 grams first, so score 4 points before you can get more points for the diversity points and the bonus point. Does that make sense? So you can't have the diversity point is when you have at least 6 different types of fruits and veggies. So if you have like 200 grams in a day, but you had 6 types of fruits and veggies, you don't get the 2 points. You can only get the 2 points when you've hit 800 grams.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
What is different? Oh, God.
What?
I have broccoli and broccolini. Are they different?
Bro.
I mean, they come from the same family, but...
Oh, wow. Oh my. This is
Oh,
gonna be a good challenge for you, bro.
You know, I mean, speaking of that though, like definitely a hack to go for heavier vegetables. So like your root vegetables, your sweet potatoes, your pumpkins. Yeah, definitely go for them first. And broccoli is quite heavy as well. So yeah.
Ooh, fruit hack.
And with your variety, guys, make sure that if you're getting 6 different kinds of vegetables, I would start off with, you know, actually listing out 6 of your favorite vegetables that you know you can stomach and that you would eat. Make sure that you get at least 25 grams of those 6 type of vegetables. Because what we don't want to see is someone like making a huge bowl of mashed potato and then having like 4 slices of other vegetables just to kind of get their points.
Yeah.
Can everyone see the new shared screen or my?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how the points will happen on SugarWOD. Yeah, it's just pretty much how you guys log your results. Everything will be RX. You'll just put however many points you get, and then you'll be able to see everyone's kind of leaderboard on there. So yeah, it'll just be a fun way of tracking the daily points. We kind of made the agreement that we don't want where every, you know, to qualify for all the other points, you've got to score at least 4 points. But we're just on the premise that if you score 4 points every day, Chris and I will just at the end of the week just do a draw, and we've got about $400 worth of. Seeing as we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 people, we've got $400. Everyone just got $50 richer, or maybe someone's going to be lucky enough to just smash it out and get it. So yeah, in terms of kind of the workout's going to be posted on there. As long as you do the workout every day, you know, just chucking a score. I think the goal is that we want to try and encourage as many of us to get involved in this as possible, because I know that everyone kind of does their own workouts, which is cool. Not wanting to stop anyone from doing that, but you know, there are going to be days where you're like, fuck, I can't be fucked doing a workout. And it's kind of days like this where you want to, you know, you want to have that community stuff behind you. So yeah, and even if you don't do the workout, but you still go for a run or something, chuck that in as well. You know, it's just trying to keep us kind of moving rather than not moving. And we're going to chuck out some ideas for workouts as well, which will hopefully, you know, keep you guys excited and engaged as we go. But yeah, do you guys have any questions, any thoughts, any doubtful points?
Yes.
I have another question. If you don't hit your 800 grams, can you still score a point for a workout?
Yes. So you get
So if you only sort of hit 600 grams or 500 grams that you've worked out that day, can you still add the point on for your workout?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll allow that. As long as it's a good workout. It has to be an official functional U workout for that though.
Sounds good, guys.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Can I just ask, Christine, do you have any tips? Like, I find the hardest thing about this is the labor time of cooking.
Yeah. Great.
I don't love cooking. Do you?
Yeah. I totally feel for you. Yeah, I personally operate on a basis where like it's definitely worth you know, some time on your Sunday just to make the week roll by a lot quicker. So if you invest some time on the weekend to get your veggies, what I do is I actually cook my veggies in bulk. So I literally have a Tupperware of broccoli that's just ready to go. And if you kind of have big boxes of vegetables, then you can kind of mix and match, and it'll just help with time over the week if you are working. So I would sort of start off with that. Definitely worth planning your meals in advance. So like I said, if you start off with working out the average of meals you have a day and then dividing that into the amount of vegetables that you need to cover, then yeah, hopefully that will help.
If you're not OCD and you don't mind just being a bit kind of ad lib about it, you can just chop all your veggies and then you just grab handfuls. Like,
Yeah.
I can concur that broccoli, because I've done this before and just not eaten all the broccoli, but broccoli, yeah, you can like eat broccoli. It stays in your fridge chopped up for a long time.
Yeah.
But I just get heaps of Tupperware, chop it up, and then at least if you get it like half done, then all you have to do is just like stick your hand in the cupboard, hopefully grab something, broccoli, broccolini, you know, you never know. You can just, if you're like real lazy, you can just mix it all up, but don't add like oils or anything to it. You can maybe add lemon juice to like keep it fresher, but I wouldn't, yeah, you could pre-cook as well, which is a good way. But if you're like, if you know, after your Sunday shop, if you're like, you just can't be bothered cooking, you do get faster at meal prep, by the way. Like I went from 4 hours to 2 hours, but if you just want to do the bare basics, it's just chop up your veggies, make sure it's ready, and then you're good to go. There are certain veggies that chopping up doesn't work as well with, which would be like lettuce, zucchini, but that stuff's pretty like, that's not the hardest thing. You know, you could literally just cook those whole. It tastes fucking weird, but it's, you know, you could do it if you wanted to. But yeah, just
sorry. Definitely pair your veggies up with other things. So, you know, if you don't want to be eating steamed vegetables for the next 7 days, then like definitely mix it up. You know, add avocado to it if it gives it a little bit of, you know, flavor. Like Mexican bowls are my go-to because it just adds variety. So poke bowls and Mexican bowls are an easier way to get a bunch of vegetables in. And even making a frittata with as much vegetables in, that's where you can sneak things like potatoes, zucchini, tomatoes, like they all count. So yeah, I'll be posting some things on the Facebook page from time to time, just little hacks that you could do and some recipes for you guys.
Actually, I've got a question. Fruit kind of features as a way of, it's a bit of a hack, I guess, because you know, a bit of fruit, it covers a lot of ground, but is there a cap on fruit?
I mean, not a strict one, but my recommendation would be that you want to have no more than 300 grams of fruit. That would be my max. So somewhere between 200 to 300 grams of fruit, and then the rest being vegetables would be a good sort of portion. Yeah.
Cool.
If you eat 800 grams of fruit, it's better than 800 grams of donuts.
Yeah.
You're winning. You're winning. Remember, you're winning. We spent 12 weeks hitting the
I do eat a lot of fruit too, I must say.
remember, we spent 6 weeks hitting the piss and eating donuts. So if you eat 800 grams of fruit for the next 6 weeks, you're doing okay. There'll be the Christine's good cop. I'm like shit cop. And buy a veggie bullet if you want to like. If you want to hack the shit out of this one, like the veggie bullet's the bomb. I'll post up a video of it. It's amazing.
Yep.
Does there anyone have? Well, actually, I'll put out a question. What do you guys want for prizes? Because we're you know, who do you guys want us to reach out to? We're probably going to go to local businesses, spend money in local businesses. Who do you guys think we should go to? Where do you guys want to eat when we're out of this?
Yeah, North Melbourne. Local.
Everywhere.
North Melbourne. I'll just get
Yeah.
$400 and throw it into the community. Be like, go.
Well,
What
does
about
anyone-
Jeannie Greenie or Jeannie Green? I
Oh
forget.
yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, bit of Junie Moons. Give him some love.
Does anyone need an
The
upgrade?
green grocer, the boutique green grocer. Not, I don't know what the one you said was.
Oh, not Junie.
Yeah, on Errol Street.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
Who's that?
It's up the top near 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fancy grocery shop.
Yeah, but there's like so many things you could get from there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just go in there. Yeah, sweet.
Maybe a hamper or a voucher for there.
Does anyone need an upgrade in their kitchen? Like maybe a kitchen tool, like a new,
New chopping board,
yeah.
new fry pan.
Chef.
Michael needs everything.
Oh, yeah. Date
Can I
night
just
with Christine. She'll like cook you dinner when we're out of this.
Oh yeah, sure.
She'll chef it for you.
I can, one of the prizes could be me coming over to your house and organizing your pantry. I will legit do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like look at your cupboard and I will actually organize it.
That's an awesome prize, guys.
OCD tape.
I know.
Wow.
KonMari your pantry.
She gets very excited when she does that. I've witnessed it myself.
Yeah.
What about closets? Do you just stop at pantries? What about closed closets? All that?
Wise.
Why stop there? Let's go for it.
Any other questions about nutrition? Any random ones?
I've got a random one, and this is a bit mischievous and cheeky, but I know packaged soups are out of the question, and I'd also, you can buy tinned soup, and I know it's got a bit of sugar in it, but arguably it's supposedly, it may say like 3.5 vegetables or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, is that allowable, or is that really out of the question?
I would. Well, great question. Have a look at the nutrition label and see how much of it is actual, like, okay, let's say you have a can of tomato soup. If it's like 93% tomatoes, then like Tommy said, it's better than a donut, right? So then, yeah, count that in. I mean, I think if you know what you have on a regular kind of basis, and if this is something that's definitely something you normally wouldn't have, and it's, you making a better decision, then yeah, I mean, I'll give you the point.
The other thing to think about it is like how much human contact's been involved in it. So if you had like, if it's like one person on a farm in Victoria grabbing it out of the ground, it's probably good to go. If it's had like 20 people at Cedar Meats, coughing on it, probably not.
Yeah.
Limit the amount of human contact that's been before you touch it. If you're making your own soup, bro, cream it up. Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your grandma knows what it is, then it counts.
Yeah. If there's some chemical in there that you don't understand, then yeah, probably not.
Cool.
Luke, do you have any questions, bro? Zucchinis are the same as courgettes.
Here we go.
Cilantro.
Is cucumber a fruit or vegetable?
Fruit.
Okay.
Doesn't matter though.
Really?
Still counts.
He's just being a dick. Don't listen.
Hey, I didn't know these things though. I'm gonna be honest, before I started the whole nutrition thing, I was I didn't know how long fruits and veggies stayed in fridges. So they're legit questions. Like the first thing I would be like is how long does a salad keep? How tolerant is your palate for say soggy veggies?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is celery a vegetable or a herb?
A vegetable, I think.
See? I told you. I read it was a herb. That's why I'm asking.
I feel like herbs and veggies are the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, herbs are essentially dehydrated.
Vegetable. Well.
Herbs are plants. Is marijuana a plant or a drug? Is cocaine a drug? It was all a plant at some point. We just
Can you smoke your vegetables?
Yeah. Smoking allowable.
You could try it, Luke. Let us know how it goes.
You'd have to smoke a lot of vegetables to get 800 grams.
Guys, I've been just stoned for the last 6 weeks. This 800-gram challenge is the bomb.
Sorry, back to center though. Gemma, sorry to put you on the spot, but just because I've worked with Gemma for I think more than a year now, do you have any tips about how to increase your vegetable intake? Because I know that when I first started working with Gemma, we didn't really, well actually I didn't know what your food or your food diary looked like in the past, and just if you have any tips about eating more vegetables, could you share some?
Yeah. Hey, Christine. I think the the biggest change for me is just really ramping up the vegetables at breakfast time. And it's just like, to be honest, now I don't even think about it anymore. Like it's just part of my routine. I don't really do too much meal prep, but I've just made sure it's really, I'm just getting quicker at it. So like for breakfast, I always have the same thing, but just with different vegetables, like a bit of egg, and some egg white. And then, you know, I might do like an Asian type of breakfast. So like sambal, bok choy, mushrooms, you know, spring onions, sweet potato, just random bits and pieces and whatever. We always have heaps of vegetables in the fridge. So, you know, I just eat them as they're, you know, looking like they're going to die. So
get like fruit and veg boxes still?
Yeah. So we get our delivery from Merino Brothers in West Melbourne. And yeah, really, really, really good quality. Yeah, look, I think, yeah, it's easy now because I don't even think about it.
You might get delivered. Would you recommend Merino Brothers?
Merino
Brothers. Yeah, Merino Brothers at West Melbourne, and it's all online, and you just do it the night before your order comes. You do it the day before you want it delivered.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I just find like just getting your vegetables in, just hiding a lot of like grated zucchini and like carrot and stuff in things like spaghetti bolognese and stuff like that. You can ramp it up massively with just putting stuff like that in.
Ooh.
So what's your lunch look like?
My lunch is either turkey or chicken, with about 200 to 250 grams of vegetables. So it's usually like cauliflower, broccoli and peas. But I've been working from home, so now I've been like doing like Brussels sprouts and random stuff like that.
Oh yeah, cool. Shane, what do you have for breakfast?
What do I have? Lots of mushrooms, lots of broccoli, spinach. Like you can get a whole heap of spinach in there, and it's not a huge amount of bulk, but you can get a whole heap of that. And then just throw in some random veggies that you've got. Zucchini, I go through lots of zucchini. Like I tend to chuck a whole heap of frozen zucchini and banana into my NutriBullet and zoom that up with some protein powder instead of ice cream, because I've got a little ice cream addiction. So I have that instead. Zucchini noodles are really good too. And then making up big pots of like pasta sauce with a whole heap of veggies in there and chucking it in the freezer in already portion sizes. So you just pull it out, have your zucchini noodles, and you're good to go. Yeah,
that's a great hack that I've
Another good hack I use sometimes, if you have got a lot of veggies that are about or that are dying, just chop them up, chuck them in the oven, just do a massive bake up, and that'll last you a good 3-4 days in the fridge. And then you can just reheat and add to your protein with every meal. So you cook your meats and then just reheat your veggies and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, let's wrap it up there. And if you guys have any questions for Christine or myself, just get involved. Fire it through on Facebook. I'll post this video up. And yeah, 4 points for veggies and fruits, 1 point for the workout, 2 if you get 6 or more items, and then 1 bonus item, which we'll talk about on Monday.
Cool.
Sweet. Awesome. See you guys later. Have a good Sunday.
Yeah.
Thanks guys. See ya.